We introduce you PF6 Flex, our new system for fixture tightening applications. When you look on it, the first thing which can come to your mind that it's small and have a couple of components here. But this doesn't mean that it will only take less amount of the space needed for installation, but the way how the system can be used changes, well, maybe not everything, but for sure a lot. For start, let's take a look on the semi-automatic station with a couple of spindles as example. This is typical station where we have spindles on moving manipulator and all are connected to standalone wall of controllers. So you need separate stand, in some cases even air conditioning. Each controller contains additional cables like power supply, communication between controllers, e-stop, and all of those takes time to install, and in case of any failures, it's definitely not easy to find out where the problem is. Tool cables. Each tool needs one, and because it's not very close, cables needs to be very long, which is again expensive. Second issue, maybe even more costly, you need entire overhead construction to somehow route those cables. Next problem with cable is that over the time they will break in the point when constant stress occurs. Exchange of such cable is definitely not fast and easy task, not mentioning the cost. We so long get used to this concept that many live with assumption this is how it have to be. Well, not really. With Flex we can get rid all of those issues. So no more special cabinets, no more walls, no more long breaking cables, no more overhead constructions, and finally much easier problem solving. This is our new lean station with same amount of spindles, it's just much smaller. Now you have much faster modification on station by adding or removing servo drives in just few minutes. Cables to tools are incomparable shorter because distance to controller is minimal. And they don't work, so will not be damaged that way. Entire diagnostics is much easier as communication between system components is on backbone, or you can call it a mounting plate. If one controller is failing, you will see this on the status LED located here. So then the only thing which you have to do is take screwdriver and have like 2-3 minutes or something like this. Done. There is also one very important, let's call it parameter. It's system weight. System can be up to 88% lighter than previous generation or our competition. This sounds nothing important, but actually this makes huge difference in robotic applications. Take a look on this example. This is typical station which suffers from the same issues as semi-automatic stations, so cables, installation cost, and so on. However, with Flex, this looks completely different. You have here just robot with controllers mounted on robot arm, which doesn't occupy at all additional space. Or you can have very complex power heads with multiple spindles and controllers. You just need to deliver power to them and some communication. Or it can be even other methods, some wireless technology. Power head can sound familiar from welding stations. And yes, this is for some the biggest benefit with Flex. Let's look at production line with different variants of bolts pattern on transmission gears. To make full automatic assembly, you will need, in standard setup, 3 robots, 3 cells, 3 walls of controllers. However, this is not just one issue. Depends on product which you need to produce. Not all of them will work at the same time. So this is clear waste of time and resources. So let's do the same what we did before. Exchange this configuration for Flex system. Now we have power head with all what we need, but as we have power head, we actually don't need those 2 robot stations. One is completely enough, which is huge cost saving, both from hardware and time perspective. How this work? In this robotic station, we have 3 power heads, which will be selected based on actual product variant on workstation. System will make tightening, and when it's done, robot will grab second power head for another product variant, while the line will move specific components to assembly place. There are no delays for any system reboots, which will give highest possible station utilization. So you can save 2 robots and all what is needed to drive them, large amount of the floor space, and you gain further flexibility to add another product variant in same production nest. And don't forget about additional energy saving, because this will be in such case really visible. The last thing Josef was mentioning about easiness to use. Flex uses the same programming software as many of our solutions, so if you already had any experience with, for example, PowerFocus 6000, which is already a couple of years on the market, this will be already known component in system.